How's it going, everyone? With the 116th overall pick, the Packers picked Colby Wooden, defensive tackle out of Auburn. He is a 6'4", 273-pound defensive tackle. Ran an absurd 4.79 40-yard dash and a 1.63 10-yard split. Amazing numbers. So it is a very athletic defensive tackle we have right here. And he scored a 9.25 RAS score. For his career stats on PFF, as you can see here, on 2020, he scored a 68.6 overall grade, played 11 games, had 312 pass rush snaps, and 259 run defensive snaps. Had 4 sacks and 3 hits. Then in 2021, he had an 80.2 overall grade, played 13 games, had 352 pass rush snaps, and 238 run defensive snaps. 7 sacks, 8 hits, and 26 hurries. Then in 2022, had a 72.1 overall grade, played 12 games, had 371 pass rush snaps, and 267 run defensive snaps with 6 sacks, 5 hits. And pretty much during the course of his career, he mostly played on the edge. He did play some interior, especially in 2022. He played more as an interior defensive tackle. But in that 2021 season, he played more of like the edge on the interior line. So most of his stats in 2022 where he was productive was more on the edge. And he didn't do too much when he was tasked to play over the tackle as a defensive tackle. This pick makes a bit of sense for the Packers as Kenny Clark still does need some help. And he could end up being one of those pass rushing defensive ends, really. He'll play on the edge. Especially since TJ Slayton and Kenny Clark are the primary nose tackles on our defense. So he'll probably play more on the edge and during pass rushing situations. He has a little bit to be desired in the run defensive part. He can slightly lose some gap control and stop his feet during run defense. And he kind of has some bad leverage at times and he can kind of get pushed aside. He also struggles to break down and avoid getting too far upfield when he's penetrating against a quarterback. So he's kind of more of, like all these picks, but he's more of a developmental player. And we're kind of drafting him like we've drafted everyone for his upside. He could become a good player or a good rotational player, but they're going to have to work on him a little bit and develop him. And then on the pass rushing side, he doesn't really have a go-to move. He is a decent pass rusher, but he doesn't have like one of those go-to moves where he's pretty much has a high probability of winning it. And when he does do certain pass rush moves, he's kind of inconsistent. And sometimes he wins and sometimes his technique is off. So he's going to have to develop some consistency. Overall, pretty much scouts have said he is a solid middle round defensive lineman where his versatility, depending if he plays inside or on the edge on the interior lineman, or even potentially as an outside linebacker, considering his size, he can kind of be moved around in that sense. And, well, it's going to be interesting what Joe Barry potentially could cook up with him, considering it's still Joe Barry. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As always, go Pack Go.